Hi and welcome back to the channel. My name is Berlin. In today's episode, I would like us to review one of the collective investment schemes, one of the investment funds rather, which I found to be quite interesting, and I know it's going to interest you, or you might be interested in having this information. Whether you'll make a choice to invest in it or not, that will be up to you. But I would like to share with you information that I found about one of these collective investment schemes. This is Africa Special Equity Fund. What is that? I'm going to tell you in a bit, but before that, please press the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed. And to those who have subscribed, thank you so much. You are actually the reason why I keep shooting out these videos. Now, African Special Equity Fund is a product of Arvocap. Arvocap Asset Managers. Arvocap is a fund manager which is licensed by CMA. I told you before we hold any conversation, we must first confirm that it's actually licensed by CMA. Now, African Special Equity Fund is also licensed by CMA, the Capital Market Authority. As you can see here, it is licensed by CMA. So what is it about this fund and why has it piqued my interest? Now, this fund was launched in June 2024, and Arvocap was licensed as a fund manager in 2023. A few months later, they launched African Special Equity Fund. As the name suggests, this is a special fund. It's not a money market fund. It's a special fund. And it's a special fund because, like the name suggests, again, Africa, they invest in African markets. They invest in the listed securities in Africa. That is South Africa, Nigeria, Rwanda. They invest in Africa. Okay? Not globally. They invest in Africa. Though they have a small portfolio that is invested globally, but they invest in Africa. Like 75% of this fund is invested not locally, but within Africa. So what is it about this fund? What is it about this fund? I'm going to tell you what their return on investment was, or rather the profits that they posted last year. But before that, what is it about this fund? Their trustees is NCBA. Custodian is also NCBA. I didn't get to check auditors, but the fund, like other funds, also has a lock-in period of 6 months. And the minimum invested, the minimum capital, the minimum amount you need to invest in this fund is 15,000 rands, not shillings. That's about 106,000 rands. Let's say at 110,000 shillings. Sorry, yeah. It's about 110, between 106 to 110,000 shillings. And the minimum top up is the same amount, 15,000 rands. Not Kenya shillings, rands. Why is it in rands and not Kenya shillings or in dollars? It's because rands is probably the strongest currency in Kenya, in Africa rather. And also, a chunk of their portfolio is invested in South African securities. So yes, the investment is in rands. They invest in rands. Yeah, even if you give them Kenya shillings, they'll have to convert it to rands. Now, this fund gave a return on investments. I'm going to tell you that in a bit. Now, what charges does this fund have? The fund has an initial investment of 0.5%. So you give them 1 million and instantly they deduct 5,000 shillings being the initial investment charge. This fund also carries with it a management fee rather of 2%, though this is prorated. Now, it also has a performance fee of 20%. 20% on any profit that the fund will have returned, the fund will recover 20% of that profit. The management fee is levied on the assets under management, but the performance fee is charged on the profits that the fund manager would have made on your behalf. What returns did this fund return last year? You're not going to believe it. This fund gave an annualized return on investment not 20%, not 30%, not 40%, not 10%. It gave an annualized return on investment of 58%. An annualized return on investment means that if you had invested in this fund at the beginning of the year and held your money intact, you did not withdraw your money until 31st December. If you had invested 1 million at the beginning of the year, come the end of December, you would have made 580,000 shillings. 58% annualized return on investment. However, remember I told you this fund was launched in June last year. It wasn't launched in January, but it managed to give the investors a return on investment of 58% annualized. I think this is now the highest annualized return on investment that I'm seeing amongst the special funds that I have managed to review so far. I have reviewed OX Special Fund, I have reviewed Mansa X Special Fund, I have reviewed Kuza Momentum, and now the African Special Equity Fund, which offered us a 58% annualized return on investment. Like any other special fund, this fund also has a lock-in period of 6 months, after which you can access your money. And what is the risk rating for this fund? This 58% return on investment, what is its risk rating? Remember, it's invest in securities, in equities or shares, if you so wish. So it makes capital gains and also makes profits in terms of dividends. So what is the risk rating of this fund? Is it a low risk? Is it a moderate risk? Or is it a high risk? I would like you to leave me a comment in the comment section and let me know, what do you think is the risk rating of the fund, given that the underlying assets is shares, traded shares, listed shares. Probably they also do unlisted shares, but I know they trade it. They invest in shares. What do you think is the risk rating for this fund? Is it a low risk investment vehicle, or is it a high risk investment vehicle, or is it a moderate risk investment vehicle? How would you, as an investor or as an individual, classify the risk, profile the risk rating for this fund? Please leave me a comment in the comment section. After a while, I'll also leave you what my opinion is on this fund with regards to risk. I've told you it has a lock-in period of 6 months. They issue statements monthly, and they compound monthly actually issue statements monthly as well, monthly or quarterly. Now that much I can't remember. I would like us to do a demo of what it will be like if you had invested 1 million in this fund on 1st January and retained your money there until 31st December of last year. Yes, I am aware that this fund was launched in June, but I'd like us to do a small demo, calculations of what would it be like for you had you invested 1 million in this fund on 1st January and retained your money until the end of December. I told you it made a return on investment of 58% annualized, yeah? So on the 1 million, you'll be having 580,000 shillings. It has an initial fee of 0.5%. 0.5% of 1 million is 5,000 shillings. And it has a performance fee. Performance fee is charged not on the 1 million, but on the return on investment, on the 580,000 shillings. So if you take 20% of 580,000 shillings, you have a performance charge of 116. This 58% is reported after management fee has been deducted. So the net returns on these would be the 580,000 less 121,000, your initial fee, and your performance fee, which will give you 459,000 shillings. So had you invested 1 million at the beginning of the year, come December, you'll be having 1.459 million. Do you think it's a risk worth taking? Do you think it's an investment worth considering. However, a disclaimer, the past performance does not always determine the future performance. This fund could perform better. It could actually even give a 70% or 60%. With the same breath, this fund could actually perform worse this year. I mean, it could give a return on investment of maybe 20% or 15% or 30%. Nobody knows how it's going to perform in the year 2025. But last year, 2024, from June to December, it gave an annualized return on investment of 58%. What do you think about it? Do let me know in the comment section, and also don't forget to press the subscribe button. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and let's meet on the next video.